all this list of documents, right? And they deny you, just know your relationship after your life. Canadian bestie here. And like I said in my previous video, I was gonna give you guys the tea or things you might need that would help you with your migration from Nigeria or wherever to Canada. And yeah, I'm a student. I've been here for quite a while, and I have a list. I have a list of documents. If you guys can see it, I have a list of documents that I'm going to be telling you guys that you need if you're applying for a visa in Canada. They're coming to study. Basically, they're coming to study. Just now I got you. So yeah, let's get right into it. Disclaimer, disclaimer. I am not a professional, okay? I'm just telling you guys things that worked for me. This is basically like my research, what I did, what I did that worked for me. Some of you, like when I'm saying the things on this list, you guys might be like, oh, is this one necessary? Is this one necessary? The whole point of this list is basically you proving beyond reasonable doubts. If you guys have heard that term before, when you prove beyond reasonable doubt and then they have no reason, they have absolutely no reason not to give you a visa. So it might seem like the document is a lot. Even I remember when I was applying, I was like, all these things I'm adding, I didn't even very important, but trust me, it's better to go a lot overboard than to just go beyond there. You feel me? So it's very important, beyond reasonable doubt. So please, I need you guys to pay attention. And if this video helps you, don't forget to share it to somebody that you know will need it. So now let's get right into it. The first thing on the list of documents you will need Canada to study is your digital passport photograph. Very, very important. Please do not go to a roadside past all these people that will stand on the road and say, "Oh, madam, I take pictures." Okay, as no, please just go to a good studio. It doesn't even have to be somewhere that is excessively or unnecessarily pricey. Just a good studio that knows what they are doing. Okay, the dimension is 35 by 45 mm. If you don't even need these dimensions, like in a situation where you forget or something, you can just go there. Like I did mine at Studio 24. You go there, you tell them, oh, I want to get a Canadian digital passport, and they get it done for you. It's as simple as that. They know the dimensions, they know what works, and just please, okay, go to a professional. Don't go to a roadside person, please. Very important. The next thing you will need is a passport. Obviously, you can't want to apply for you can't want to apply for a study visa and you do not have a valid passport, okay? So if your passport is like 2 years, like it's expiring in 2 years' time, you need to go get it renewed because they will not give you, it doesn't matter how long your education is gonna last for, they can't give you years that are more than the years in your passport. So you need to make sure your passport is renewed. Very, very important. And then you need to get a stamp, like your pages to have like travel stamps. Please, if you do not have the funds to do it, it's okay. But honestly, I feel like it's very important. I did it. I had like travel stamps on my passport. Like you could go to Ghana, you could go to South Africa, wherever, like somewhere close by, basically. Just showing them that like, okay, you travel. I feel like it gives this sense of trust. This is just like his opinion. You get a sense of trust like, okay, if this country can grant this girl visa, let me she has actually been there multiple times. She has even renewed her visa before. It just gives you a good standing, to be very honest. So if you have the means, please, it's very, very, very important. The next thing you would need is a recent employment letter. So from your previous employment, workplace, wherever you were working, you need to make sure you have an employment letter from there. Very important. Previous employment letter, if you can get your hands on it, please put it there. You'll say, oh, Olichi, but I was not working. I didn't have a job. If you had like NYC, you would definitely work somewhere, right? Just get it. Find a way to get it, please. It's very, very important because they need to see that you were not idle, like you were actually like developing yourself in your country. You're not just there, not working, not doing anything. Very important. You also need an introduction letter from your employer. Very important. That's basically your employer. Be like them, like vouching for you. It could also serve as a reference, right? But yeah, it's basically them like introducing you. You need an introduction letter from your employer. Promotion letter, if any. If you've not been promoted before at your workplace, it's fine. It's totally fine. But if you have, please, by all means, include that document. A payslip. I mean, this is like common sense, right? Because there is no way like you were working at a place and you were not getting paid unless it was like a volunteer work or whatever you were doing. But make sure you have a payslip from like the moment you got employed till the day you left them. Show your payslip. It basically backs up your employment because or your employment letter. Because let's be honest, employment letters can be forged. That's the fact. So it's basically like backing up for your document, your previous employment documents. You also need like a confirmation letter. If there is any, they usually send you like a confirmation letter. So if you can get your hands on that, if you have a confirmation letter from your workplace, from your employment, please ensure you put it there. Okay. The next thing you need is a statement of accounts. We already know this one. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on this so that you guys can really understand. Because I feel like, yeah, we all say, oh yes, you should have some amount of money. In a situation where you have someone sponsoring you, please pay attention. In a situation where you have someone sponsoring, like in my case, I did have money in my account. Or should I say I had money, but the money was not enough to be proving what's it called? My security to cover my security here in Canada, right? So my dad was my sponsor. So in a situation where your parents or somebody is sponsoring you, you need to make sure you have an affidavit of support, a letter of support. It's going to talk about the fact that that money that your sponsor has, you have access to that money. Like that's the essence of that affidavit of support. So me, like I said, I didn't have money, like enough money, like my account was basically empty because I already moved all my money from my account to my piggy bank. And you can't be showing piggy bank as what's it called? Because if you ask a bank statement, you ask for a bank statement, you can't do that. So I used my dad's account. I used two of his accounts. He wrote a letter of support for me. That's a different thing. Letter of support is there. Yes. Your sponsor's name. I'm supporting, to write it there, get signed. Then you need the affidavit of support. That's you going to, after that affidavit, you're going to go to court and it's going to be, you draft the affidavit and it's going to be stamped. So I stamped mine by the Federal High Court. So it's very important. It's basically because I have a friend that applied with her sponsor's account, but she didn't show any proof. Because honestly, you could put someone's account, oh, this person is sponsoring, but how are they sure that you have access to that money? Or most especially in a case where you guys are not even related. Was in this situation, she was even related to the person, but still she was not granted the visa. Like they literally denied her. She had to apply again, but she didn't. She had to move money to her own personal account. Show if you don't want to go through all those stress, just make sure you get an affidavit of support from courts, get it stamped. Period. That's it. Okay. But in a situation where you're sponsoring yourself, you obviously do not need an affidavit of support. You just need to show your statement of account. The next thing on the list is your birth certificate. You need to make sure that you are not lying. You are who you say you are. Okay. Please make sure you attach your birth certificate. And I feel like I don't know, this is like my own theory. I feel like another reason they ask for it, I might be wrong, is especially like when you say someone is sponsoring you, right? Because the person is showing like their ID card, their name, and stuff like their name, right? They're writing their name and all of that. They need to be sure like, okay, these two people are related. If you get what I mean. I don't know. That's just that's just my inner thoughts. I was just thinking like inner, but anyways, back to the order of the day. Birth certificate, I've already said that. You need a transcript. Student copy is optional actually, but include it. You guys don't forget we're proving beyond the reasonable doubt that yes, we have everything you need. Please do not deny us. Okay? Add it there, your degree certificate from your school, your university, ensure you include that. Your tuition fee, when you get admission in a Canadian university, you need to pay a deposit for the most I've heard. For other people I've heard, I don't know if there are schools that you will not need to pay, but for the people that are around me that have traveled, me included, don't forget I'm talking about from my personal experience, you need to make sure you need to pay, right? You need to pay your deposit. So when you pay your deposit, the school would send you an official receipt, tuition receipt. That's what you're going to show, like, yeah, that you've paid. So the next thing on the list is your pension statement, if you have any. If you don't have, then you can skip it. But please make sure you have your pension statement. The next thing on the list is a fixed deposit certificate. If you have a fixed deposit certificate, please provide it. Don't come at me with the whole Oluchi, it's not necessary. We're trying to prove beyond reasonable doubt here, okay? So please, if you have it, add it. Treasury bill too. If you have a treasury bill, please add it. I didn't add a treasury bill because I didn't have it. So my dad didn't have it. So yeah. Um Cooperative savings, yeah, because so if you have like a corporate account, cooperative savings or whatever, have add that to add that is very important because you might feel like all these things you're doing too much. Trust me, there is nothing like doing too much when it comes to wanting to get your visa approved. Okay, so just go all in so that you know that you did your best. So that's the whole point. You did your best. Another thing is your statement of purpose. I'm actually gonna talk about this a little bit more because I feel like I need you to see your statement of purpose like you're applying for a job. Just where you would make your resume to be very enticing. You want the hiring manager to hire you, trying to convince them. Your statement of purpose is like that, but more. Because you're going to be talking about like the things you've done, your travel, your past travel experiences, if you have any, the certificates you've earned, how you've improved yourself. It is in that same statement of purpose that you're going to describe how the link between you and your whole country. What's going to bring you back to Nigeria? That's where you talk about that. That is where you really, really talk about it. I feel like there are a lot of technology has evolved. Excuse me. I feel like technology has evolved. There are a lot of what's it called? There are a lot of apps. There are a lot of websites available for us. There are a lot of websites that literally can use. You can use ChatGPT. I personally use ChatGPT to like helps in crafting and stuff like that. Like I'll tell it some things. It will help me. So it will like not like you go and put it in AI. Whatever it brings, you just put. You have to use your ChatGPT is just gonna give you like a guideline. Get me like basically like a guideline. So like use all the resources that are available to you. Use them. Use them. Use them. Your I need you to understand that your statement of purpose needs to be good. I can't stress it enough. It needs to be really, really good. And whatever certificate you're saying, oh, like personally now I learned fashion designing, right? And I put like, oh, like after like my employment, I went to fashion designing school, I was certified as put it there and make sure that the certificate you're gonna put it among your application. So make sure what you're writing in your statement of purpose, and the documents and slash certificates you have, they are correlating. Okay, so it doesn't look like you don't know what you're saying or you don't know what you're doing. It's very, very, very important. Another thing is your training certificate. Just like I said, if you have any, because you're gonna include it in your statement of purpose, make sure you have it attached. Okay. You also need your resume. You need your CV. Very important, so that they can see like where you've worked. Basically, showing your employment history. That's the whole point of that. You also need offer letter from an institution. For the most part that I know of, and from personal experience, when you apply for a university here in Canada, they would send you an offer. What's it called? They'll send you an offer letter. So you need to basically the offer letter, because I feel like some people don't really know. Some schools have like different policies and stuff like that. So the offer letter is basically the document that is stating that you have been granted admission to whatever program you applied for. It is also stating the duration of the program that you're taking, and it's also stating like your tuition. So that is what your offer letter entails. Another document you should have is up for medicals. Well, this is optional, right? Not like the medicals itself is optional. The medical is compulsory, but I'm talking about upfront, doing it before you're being asked to do it. Personally, I did it because I was traveling and I didn't want a situation where I travel and then they not request for it, and like because it's only in Abuja and Lagos that you can get your medicals done. So I mean, find out what works for you. If you decide, oh no, I want to wait when they ask for it, I'm gonna get it done. Good. If not, just do it and attach it once and for all. Forget about it. It's not the upfront is not compulsory. It's all what you want and what works for you. Another thing that is very important is marriage certificate. If you're married, of course, you need to show a marriage certificate. Like the same thing like we've been discussing about. If you were working, you need to show your employment letter and so like that. So if you're married, please make sure you attach your marriage certificate. You need a reference letter. I can't even stress the importance of it. They take references in this Canada very seriously. So and recommendations. They take it to their chests. So please don't get personal references. I see people get personal references and it just doesn't make sense to me. Regardless, make sure you get a reference. It should be more professional. All my references were from my school, our dean from my faculty. Yeah, he gave me his reference. I got a reference from him. I got a reference from my workplace, the places I worked. I got a reference from there. So make sure you have your reference. It's very important. It's basically like backing up all the things, all your employments and all the things you're saying about yourself. There are people that it's basically like people vouching for you. So it's very, very important to include it. Family picture. Very important. I took a family picture and I added it. So please make sure you take a family picture with your dad, your mom, your siblings. Very important. Ensure you do it. Okay, ensure you do it. Property or land documents. Oluchi, you have called me. Yes, I've called me. Very important because I feel like that's like a very big link, a very big thing to use as a link that I'm gonna come back. Land, property. I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know how to like really, really explain like my points here. But if you have a property or a land, please get it. Get your document, attach it. If you can get it, just get it. It's very important. Like my sponsors document said that I'm the only child. I'm gonna come back to think about family business and all. So in fact, you can even go as far as asking your sponsors, like, they can create a letter, that will be stamped in court, saying how, oh, this is going to be, like, my daughter is going to, the person needs to take over. There ways, you guys, they're like, you get the points. Just make sure you have a land or property. That means it's a very good, a strong point, so to say. Another thing you would need is your letter of support. I think I've already spoken about that earlier. It's very important, you guys. The letter of support is like, okay, from your sponsor, right? He's sponsoring you, he has to attest to the sponsor. Okay? He has to sign his signature. No, they don't play with things. When it comes to court things, That's what I was telling you guys about that affidavit. Like I really stress that point. When it comes to things that has to do with courts or things that stand to it, that has to do with the law, basically. They don't joke with it. So you need a letter of support from your sponsor. The statement of pensions / business account. Basically, you need your CAC for your business. CAC is basically confirming that your business is legit. That's just in layman's language. This is basically a certification that this business is a legit business. So you need to make sure you get your CAC. If you're a business owner, please make sure you attach your CAC documents to your CAC certificate rather to your application for your business. It's very, very important. Tax clearance certificates, you guys, when it comes to this country, they don't play with their taxes. They take it. You see, when you see Canada, you see tax, they're like this. So they need to be sure that the person they are bringing is gonna be. Anyways, you can't even hear because everything there's tax. Everything you're paying for tax. So you need your tax certificate, your tax clearance certificate. I provided my dad's own, right? So if you have one, please provide it. It's good. You might say this thing is not necessary. The whole point is beyond reasonable doubts. Don't forget. See. Just as you're watching this video, that's what be ringing. When that thought of it's not important comes, just be like beyond reasonable doubts. Okay, that's the whole point. The next thing you would need is a article of association and memorandum. That's also like land document. The thing is when you buy land in anywhere, but let me just talk for Nigeria, there are a lot of documents, a lot of documents. So if you can add all those documents, just show them that yes, you have connection to that land, or you own that land, or you own that property, include it to your application. So, and that comes to the end of my list. I'm hoping that you guys learned one or two things from here because I took my time to write down every single thing because I did my research. And I remember when I was doing my research and like somebody was telling me, oh, you need to add this, you need to add this. I was like, all these things are necessary, but I know somebody that they were like, Madam, you and that person, you cannot do the same thing. Maybe that person didn't add most of these things and they got, but there are some people that didn't add it and they didn't get it. So just add it so that you are not in between. Okay, you are safe. You know that you are safe. And then the last final thing is you need God. You need to be prayerful. I can't even stress it. What else? Just commit the rest into the hands of God. That's very important. I can't stress it. Because at the end of the day, it's only God that can help you. Help us. Because me, even after attaching all these things, I still pray though. I was a prayer warrior. I pray to God, So yeah, you do your own part because faith without works is dead, okay? So you need to make sure that you have all your documents intact. Don't go and be applying. You don't have a plan. You don't have your documents complete. You're just literally wasting your time, wasting your money. And for what reason? Like you see the way Nigeria is now. Talking about like the amount of money you're supposed to have in your account. Things are changing. I don't know when you're gonna send this video, but just make sure you do your research on the amount of money you need to have and have above it. Don't go and be doing too much. If they say 20 million naira, don't go and have 500 million naira. Just have, let's say 20 million naira, you can have 50, okay, or 40 or 60. But don't do too much because if you are doing too extra, it's a no. So just be there, do your things, gather your documents, and I'm very certain that you're gonna get your visa approved. Oh, I need to talk about biometrics. That one is you kind of like they will definitely request for it. They will request for you to go to your biometrics and they send you a confirmation letter, book it, and then get that done. So like yeah. And that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I need you guys to like, because hey, I've been talking for how many minutes? Like, share, tell your friends to tell your friends to tell your friends. Whoever you know that wants to come to Canada, send them this video because you never know. You never know who's gonna need it. You never know. So yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video.